men walk into an office and instantly get attention, while others work just as hard but stay invisible.
Why does it feel like your ideas are ignored?
Even when they are good. Why do some people speak once in a meeting and everyone listens? But when you speak, people just move on. If this sounds familiar, then you are not alone. This is something many men face in offices across the USA, UK, and Canada. They work hard. They show up every day. They try to do everything right. But still, they are not seen as important, and the truth is simple but powerful. Being ignored at work is not about your skills only. It is about psychology. It is about how people feel about your presence before they even understand your work. In every office, people quickly decide who matters more and who matters less. They do this without thinking. It happens in seconds. It is based on small signals you give every day. Most men never realize this. They think effort is enough. They think doing good work will automatically bring respect. But in real life, that is not how human minds work. People don't just judge your work. They judge your presence. They judge your confidence. They judge your energy. And most importantly, they judge your behavior in small moments. This is why two people with the same skills can have very different experiences at work. One gets noticed. The other gets ignored. No. Here is something very important to understand. If you feel ignored at work, it does not mean you are weak. It does not mean you are not capable. It simply means people are not reading you the right way, and that can be changed. Because respect at work is not something you wait for. It is something you build through small psychological shifts.
The good news is this.
Once you understand these shifts, you can completely change how people treat you without changing your job, without changing your skills, just by changing how you present yourself. Be there. You're going to learn 12 powerful psychological office hacks that can change how people see you at work. These are not tricks. These are not fake behaviors. These are real human psychology patterns that work in every office environment. And if you stay till the end, you will also learn something very powerful. You will learn how to become the kind of man who is never ignored again. The kind of person whose words naturally get attention. The kind of presence that people respect without you forcing it. Now let's understand the real reason you are being ignored. Because once you understand this, everything will start to make sense. In every workplace, there is something called silent ranking. No one talks about it. No one writes it down. But everyone feels it. People automatically place others into different levels of importance. This is based on behavior, not job title alone. Some people are seen as leaders. Some are seen as supporters, and some are almost invisible. And here is the hard truth. Most people who feel ignored are not actually invisible because of their work. They are invisible because of how they behave in small daily moments. For example, how you enter a room matters. How you sit in meetings matters. How you speak when you start talking matters. Even how you react when someone interrupts you matters. These things send signals, and people respond to those signals without even realizing it. If your signals are weak, people will not give you strong attention. If your signals are unsure, people will not trust your voice. If your signals show low confidence, people will naturally overlook your idea. This is how human psychology works in group settings like offices. Now think about your own work life for a moment. Do people look at you when you speak? Do they stop what they are doing? Or do they continue like nothing important is happening? If it feels like people don't fully listen to you, it is not random. It is a pattern, and patterns can be changed. The first step is awareness. You must understand that your presence is a form of communication. Even when you are silent, people are reading you. Your posture speaks. Your tone speak. Your timing speak. Your confidence level speak. And the people around you are constantly picking up these signals. Now, here is where most men make a mistake. They try to fix this by talking more, or proving their value again and again. But that usually makes things worse. Because over-explaining often signals insecurity. Talking too much often reduces authority. What actually works is the opposite. Less noise, more control. Less effort to prove, more presence to show. This is the foundation of being respected at work. Before we move into the next sections, you need to understand one thing clearly. Being ignored is not your identity. It is just a result of habits you never noticed before. And once you see those habits, you can change them. We will break down 12 psychological office hacks that will help you shift how people respond to you. Not by becoming someone else, but by becoming more aware of how you already should. And when you apply these changes, people will start to notice you differently. They will listen more. They will respect you more. Now, before we move to the first powerful office hack, just remember this. The goal is not to become loud. The goal is to become unignorable in a quiet and natural way. And if you stay till the end, you will learn exactly how to do that step by step. Now let's move into the first real psychological shift that can change how people see you at work. This is the one thing most men completely ignore, but it controls first impressions more than anything else. It is your body language. Before you speak, before you share your idea, before you even say hello, people are already judging your presence. Not in a rude way, not on purpose, but naturally. The human brain is built to read body signals in seconds. It decides if someone looks confident, unsure, important, or low status without asking any questions. And this is where everything starts. If your body language shows confidence, people assume your thoughts are valuable. If your body language shows hesitation, people assume your ideas are weak, even if the ideas are actually strong. This is why two men can say the exact same thing in a meeting, but only one gets respect. It is not just what you say, It is how your body speaks before you even open your mouth. Now let's break this down in a very simple way. The first thing people notice is how you enter a space. Do you walk in like you belong there? Or do you walk in like you are trying to avoid attention? Many men do not realize this, but rushing into a room, looking at the floor, or moving too quickly sends a silent message. That message is simple. It says you're not fully comfortable in that space.
On the other hand, calm and steady movement sends a different message.
It says you are in control. It says you are not in a hurry to prove anything. And that alone changes how people treat you. Now think about how you stand in your office or in a meeting. Do you stand straight, or do you slightly shrink your body without noticing? Many people lower their shoulders, bend their neck, or keep their arms closed without realizing it. These small things send a signal of low confidence. People do not consciously think he is standing poorly, but their brain still feels something is off, and that feeling reduces respect. Now imagine the opposite. Standing straight, shoulders relaxed but open, feet steady, not moving too much, not trying to hide. This kind of posture creates a silent message of stability, and stability always linked with leadership and human psychology. Even if you are not the boss, your body can still signal leadership energy. Now, let's talk about something even more powerful. Stillness. Most men think movement helps them look active or smart. But in reality, too much movement can make you look nervous. Fidgeting with your hands, adjusting your clothes again and again, moving your feet constantly. These are all small signals of discomfort, and people notice them more than you think. On the other hand, calm stillness creates a strong effect. When you stand or sit still while listening, it shows control. It shows patience. It shows that you are not easily shaken by the environment. And people naturally respect that. Now let's go deeper into sitting posture, because this is where many people lose respect without realizing it. In meetings or office discussions, your sitting position matters a lot. If you sit too low, too small, or too closed, it reduces your presence. It makes your voice feel smaller even before you speak. But if you sit with an open posture, relaxed shoulders, and stable position, your presence becomes stronger. It is not about trying to dominate the room. It is about not shrinking yourself in it. Now here's something very important. Your body language does not need to be aggressive. It just needs to be clear. Confidence is not about being loud. It is about being steady. Now let's talk about eye contact, because it connects deeply with body language. When you avoid eye contact too much, people may think you are unsure. When you overdo eye contact, it can feel uncomfortable. But Balanced eye contact creates trust. It shows that you are present in the moment. It shows that you are not afraid of attention. And it shows that you believe in what you are saying. Even a few seconds of steady eye contact during conversation can completely change how someone reacts to you. Now let's connect everything together. Body language is not one single action. It is a collection of small habits. How you enter a room, how you sit, how you stand, how you move, how you look at people. All of this creates a picture in people's mind. And that picture decides how much attention you get. This is why some men feel ignored even when they are smart. Their body is not supporting their words. So their message loses power before it even lands. But when your body language is aligned, something different happens. People start listening more. They stop interrupting you as much. They take your ideas more seriously. And they respond to you with more respect. Not because you changed your job, but because you changed your signals. Now, here is a simple truth you should remember. You do not need perfect body language. You just need aware body language. Most people move through their day without thinking about what their body is saying. But once you become aware of it, you automatically and small improvements lead to big changes in how people respond to you. So from today, do not just focus on what you say at work. Focus on how you show up before you even say a word. Because in every office, the person who controls their body language often controls the attention. And attention is the first step to respect. Now that you understand this, we will move to the next powerful shift. A shift that can change how much influence you have in conversations without saying more words, but actually saying less. Now let's talk about something that completely changes how people listen to you at work. And this one is very simple, but most men get it wrong every single day. It is the power of speaking less. Have you ever noticed that some people don't talk much in meetings, but when they finally speak, everyone listens? And on the other side, some people talk a lot, explain everything, and still get ignored. This is not random. This is psychology. In every office, attention is limited. People cannot fully focus on everyone all the time. So the brain automatically decides who sounds important and who sounds like background noise. And here is the truth. Most people never realize the more you talk, the less powerful each word becomes. When you speak too much, people start filtering you out. They stop treating every sentence as important. Your voice becomes normal in their mind. But when you speak less, something changes. Your words gain weight. Your silence creates curiosity. People start paying attention because they don't know when you will speak next. This is why quiet people often gain more respect than loud people. Not because they are smarter, but because they are more intentional. Now let's break this down in a simple way. Imagine two people in a meeting. One person keeps talking, explaining, adding details, repeating points.
After a while, people start checking their phones or thinking about other things.
Now imagine another person who stays quiet most of the time. They listen, they observe, they wait, and then they speak only once or twice. But when they speak, the room becomes quiet. People listen. Why? Because silence builds value. When you don't speak too much, your voice becomes rare. And in human psychology, rare things feel more important. Now here's the key idea. You are not trying to become silent. You're trying to become selective. There is a big difference. Selective communication means you only speak when you actually have something meaningful to add. Not to fill space. Not to prove yourself. Just to add value. Now let's talk about a very common mistake. Many men feel they must explain everything to be respected. They think more words equal more clarity and more respect. But in reality, it often works the opposite way. Too much explanation can sound like insecurity. It can make our point feel weak. Strong communicators do not explain everything. They say what is needed, then they stop, and that stop is powerful because it shows control.
Now let's talk about something even more important. The pause. Most people are afraid of silence,
so they rush to fill it. They feel uncomfortable when there is a gap in conversation. But powerful people use that gap. When you pause before answering a question, it changes how people see you. It shows that you are thinking. It shows that you are not reacting emotionally. It shows that your words are not rushed. Even a 1 or 2 second pause can make your answer sound more confident. On the other hand, fast and nervous talking reduces authority. In meetings, people often try to speak quickly so they are not ignored, but this actually reduces impact. Because when you rush your words, your message feels less stable. But when you slow down, choose your words carefully, and speak only when needed, your message feels stronger. Now, here is another important point. Not every opinion needs to be spoken. This is something many men struggle with.
They think if they have an idea, they must say it immediately.
But in reality, timing is more important than volume. Sometimes the best move is to wait. Listen to others. Understand the direction of the conversation, and then speak at the right moment. Because the right words at the wrong time have no power, but the right words at the right time can change everything. When you speak less, people start to listen more carefully. When you do speak, this is because your words are not constant noise anymore. They become signals, and humans naturally pay attention to signals. If a sound is always playing in the background, you stop noticing it. But if that sound only plays sometimes, you immediately pay attention. The same thing happens with your voice. Now here is a powerful shift you need to understand. You are not trying to disappear. You are trying to create contrast. Contrast means your silence makes your speech more powerful, and your speech makes your silence more noticeable. This balance creates presence. When someone challenges your idea, many people feel the need to defend it too much. But the more you defend, the weaker your position appears. Confident people do not over-defend. They stay their point. They stay calm. They let others process it. If needed, they clarify once, and then they stop. That calm control builds respect.
Speaking less does not mean being passive. It means being intentional. You still participate.
You still contribute, but you choose your moments wisely. And over time, people start noticing this part. They begin to see you differently. They start thinking, when he speaks, it matters. And that is exactly the position you want in any workplace. Because once people start valuing your words, you no longer need to fight for attention. Attention comes naturally. If body language controls how people see you, then speech control determines how people hear you. And when both are aligned, something powerful happens. You stop being background noise, and you stop becoming a This is not about changing your personality. It is about removing unnecessary behavior that weakens your presence. Less talking, more impact, less explaining, more clarity, less rushing, more control. And when you apply this consistently, people will start reacting to you differently without you forcing anything. Now, in the next section, we will go deeper into another powerful psychological tool that controls attention in every office. A tool that can instantly change how people respond to you in conversations and meetings.